Well, thank you for being with me. You've pulled together a great group today. Very glad that you're here and you can share a little bit about what's happening at Ohio Guidestone. And if you would just kind of start off by telling me a bit about how the work came about and your role, the group you serve.
So I'm the director of our workforce development programs with Ohio Guidestone, and we started this venture with AHA in 2015. We attended a training for Bridges Out of Poverty, and it really fell into alignment with a lot of the programs that we are conducting to our clients throughout all of our counties that we serve in Ohio. From there, kind of fast forward till now, we have Bridges Out of Poverty facilitators. We are conducting some of the curriculums of Bridges Out of Poverty in multiple programs. We run an Our Rules class in a school. We run some independent Bridges Out of Poverty trainings, either on site with Ohio Guidestone or in the community. And then we conduct Getting Ahead while getting out in a juvenile correctional facility. And in the past, we've also conducted some Getting Ahead and a Just Getting By World programs throughout the communities.
Quite a group there.
I'll jump in. I don't know if I started in 2015, but pretty darn close after that with Bridges Out of Poverty. I got to do the training for the philosophy, and then I attended an in-person Our Rules facilitator training for the Our Rules. The Our Rules program that was hosted by our agency. Immediately fell in love with the Bridges Out of Poverty philosophy, and looked at all the other programs we were looking into. As Sue said, we decided getting ahead while getting out is something pretty cool, and proud to say that we were able to take the Getting Ahead While Getting Out curriculum and start the very first nationwide juvenile class at Cuyahoga Hills Juvenile Correctional Facility. From there, been rolling over into the Getting Ahead While Getting Out classes at the DYS facilities, as well as teaching, facilitating Our Rules at like Berea Mid Park schools, our residential cottages. And then I also facilitate the in-person Bridges Out of Poverty philosophy workshops for our agency and as well as out to the communities.
Great, thanks.
I can jump in now. So I am our curriculum facilitator for the Our Rules program with Ohio Guidestone, and I was hired in to this role. So just about a year, I'm just hitting my 1 year mark. But Our Rules has been my bread and butter in our 8th grade classes at the Berea Mid Park Middle School, as well as our residential facility. So working with foster youth and non-foster youth. And primarily middle schoolers, but I am reaching all ages in a residential facility. But Our Rules has been my life with these kiddos, so it's been great.
Good.
My name is Amisha Bell again. I'm a site coordinator for the Getting Ahead While Getting Out program, and I'm a facilitator for Bridges. The way I came about the work is I took the Bridges Out of Poverty training and fell in love with it. And I was able to connect with the ideas and the linkage to the community. Um, that's about it.
Great. So when you think about your last year or 5 years or more, are there one or two stories that kind of stick to in your head as far as what you've seen as positive, the changes in an individual or just the community itself?
God, there's so many changes. Yeah, so many changes. I know a couple of things that popped in my head is one time with one of our we were in the facility at the correctional facility, and we call them participants instead of investigators, but one of our participants was involved in, there was a rather large outbreak of a little disturbance at the facility, and it actually did involve one of our participants. However, after everything was resolved, one of the directors wanted to make a point that they actually came up to us as the facilitators in person to acknowledge what a change they had seen in this young man, because normally he would have been one of the ones out there jumping in and instigating, and then fighting afterwards, but the way he was able to handle himself, talk about the situation, it actually prevented future additional disciplinary actions. And then when I spoke with that youth specifically about the event, he's like, you know what? Says, Miss Rebecca, I heard, I instantly wanted to go into my child voice, and then I stopped, paused, processed everything we were going through with class, and was able to be like, okay, this isn't going to help me get ahead. So it was an amazing moment because he had that aha moment and it was able to de-escalate, get himself out of a very bad situation and process everything. So that was really a big win on our part. And he has since graduated, um, moved out into his own apartment, and is now attending college. So,
That's
woo!
wow. That is
Yeah,
quite a success.
yes.
Wow.
I can speak on the middle schooler end. I have two kiddos in particular, two students, apologize, that have really made great progress this year. One of which was in my one semester class, which was an everyday program. And she came from rough household, had a lot of wonderful support systems. So within the supports of her family, her counselors, and myself, we were able to get her on track from failing almost all of her classes into now passing. And she actually put in the efforts through that semester and now is in my all-year program, and is really pushing towards like overall growth for herself. And in addition, one of my students really took the realities chapter, talking about our career planning and our personal portfolios, and was able to get his first job. So I kind of helped him through the application process specific for his restaurant that he was applying for. We did mock interviews, all those kind of fun things in class, and he is now working, and didn't think that was something he'd be able to do at his age. So really great to see those steps being positive for them.
You're building those future stories and
Yeah.
the hope. Yes.
For me, I have been honored to coordinate several different graduations. Up to date, it's about 7 from the Getting Ahead While Getting Out program in the the juvenile correctional facilities. But the most important is the moments when you enter into a class with a previous, you're sitting with gang members, people who have deep affiliations in the community, and then for hours they're able to share their heartfelt moments. And seeing them graduate, even picking up a certificate to see how honored they are to be a part of the class. And just yesterday, I was talking to a young man who is actually taking the 72-hour plans that we created from the curriculum and, executing them in his life as he gets out today.
Oh, I'm anxious to hear how it goes for him. I hope we get a follow-up. Yeah.
Mhm.
Any other stories?
Yeah, I'm gonna share one more too because Amisha and I just actually finished up a round of the co-facilitating Bridges Out of Training philosophy, the workshops with some of our frontline hands-on staff. And as we were sitting there, I mean, it was probably one of the best trainings we had in a while because there were several times there were all these aha moments, like, you could see this the staff going, huh, huh. And then actually hearing them say, you know what? I really never thought about it like that. You could actually see themselves putting them in the shoes of the clients that they're serving and helping them. They just now like, oh, I now understand. I'm going to have to communicate a little bit different because I realize that they're coming from chaos. So it's getting them all to a great point of better a mutual understanding. And it's just that was like a really awesome thing, just watching all of them going, never thought about it that way. We are having unrealistic expectations and just like, light bulbs, light bulbs.
What a great example. We always think about all the changes for the Getting Ahead investigators and the participants, but there are many changes, like you said, for staff as well when they learn about the information. What's next for Ohio Guidestone? Anything in the works? Any plans? I'm assuming you're going to continue with the curriculums.
Yes, we have plans to try and get in more schools. And actually this year, there are 3 juvenile correctional facilities in Ohio, and we were able to expand it to 2 of those. So when we first started, we were just in 1 facility, and now we're in 2. The third one is a little bit further away, so we'd have to figure out logistics for that. But, you know, we were just talking about, Rebecca was training the staff, and the DYS staff has asked us to do a Bridges Out of Poverty training for them, because we've been talking to them about the importance of, we're delivering this curriculum, but your staff also need to know,
Right.
you know, the philosophy behind it all, so we can all stand together and kind of share the same message with everybody. So we have plans to just keep moving and growing and training.
Just keep sharing the word because it's worth it. It's worth it.
It is. And, you know, I don't know if you guys experience this, but anytime I go to a graduation, I just find myself just so emotional because of all the changes that you're seeing and people who finally are understanding that they have a future. Yeah. Yes. Yep. Makes quite a difference.
Keep lots of tissues on stock at all times.
Exactly right. Exactly right. Well, thank you for sharing today. And any last things you'd like to reach out and tell me about, things I may not have asked about?
I can't think of anything. We've seen over the years, it's just amazing to watch the transition and see the change. And these little things are how the magic happens. So,
yes.
Yeah.
So as we put this out and people are hearing about what's happening, are you open to having people contact you and hear more about how you got started?
Sure. Absolutely.
Oh, thank you.
1,000%. Yes.
Yes. You know, we're all about sharing with one another so we can all grow this together. All right. Thank you all very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yay.